You can tell it's going to be an interesting show when the green screen is just sitting behind me unused. Yeah, it's been a whirlwind for a while, folks. Raj was
Yep.
in
Yep.
town, bought a house. We bought a house. Then went out to visit Raj this past weekend. This past weekend provided a brief respite from work, but I was right back at it this morning. So I apologize for the lack of posts over the weekend and stuff. But Twins' first birthday this weekend had to
Yes.
celebrate that, man. That was a great time. So
We're glad, and you and the parents were able to come out. Had a great time. This one year definitely went by really a lot quicker than we expected. Good to see him growing up. Royal is walking. Lauren is right around the corner. Um, but yeah, we had a good time. Great weekend. Great party. Everything came together. And then I remember the Sunday when we got back, everybody was just like, "Ugh, we just needed a woosah." And I feel like with everything you had going on the past few weeks, you still need some time to kind of woosah. You're always up and doing something.
it was tiring. I'm not gonna lie. And every time we
Yeah.
get together,
Yeah.
we say, "Hey, there's some stuff we need to record and do or whatever." And
Right.
then let me just tell you, on Sunday we were exhausted. Raj's wife fell asleep on her back in the middle of the room
Yes,
on
she
the
did.
carpet. Just
We got
that's how
we
that's
got
how
pictures in the
exhausted it was.
phones.
Yep.
We've got the pictures too. Yep.
Yep. All right, so we promised. Well, I don't know. I guess might have to dip out for a second, so we'll bring them on in
Yeah.
just a second.
Okay.
But no, it was a good weekend, Raj. I definitely appreciated it. We got a lot of stuff to get caught up on, but without further ado, or with further ado, however you want it. Very very special guest, Raj. When Skip left or was fired from Undisputed, they called
Oh,
him and asked him if he wanted to be the next host.
I'm not
Yeah,
surprised. I'm not
yeah,
surprised.
yeah. But he wanted to change it
Yeah.
to Alabama's the undisputed champion, and they weren't really feeling that.
I
So
like
I
that
don't know. If,
name. I like
yeah,
that
I don't.
name. I like
I
that
don't
name.
know if it's
Yeah.
gonna. I don't know if that's gonna go through. Okay.
Okay.
At media days, he was such a star that Jerry Jones came by and asked for an autograph while it was in Dallas.
Jerry Jones, Dallas
The Jerry
Cowboys,
Jones.
Jerry Jones.
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. I
And
did
one
not hear
thing
about this. Okay.
well, of course, Raj, big star. And one thing everybody, oh God, I already forget who's on yeah, I'm drawing a blank, Raj. Who is
I
the
don't know.
big
My
muscle
hands are
guy
getting tired though.
that's on their show that's right before us?
What do you mean?
Marvin Constance, thank you. Every week,
Yes.
he and Marvin Constance
Yes.
have an arm wrestling match. He's beaten him 9 out of 10 times so far. The one
I'm
time
not
he
surprised
lost,
at that. I'm
the
not.
one time he
I'm not
lost, he
surprised at
went in
that.
left-handed instead of right-handed.
I'm not surprised. Have you seen Stephen M's biceps? Have you
Boy,
seen his
yes,
biceps?
dude. The first time I ever met him, he shook my hand, crushed it. Raj couldn't use it for weeks. So
I'm not. Yeah. I'm not
bring him to the
surprised.
stage.
I appreciate you guys, man. I really do. I really appreciate you guys, man. Herb got the green screen pimping back there, but so I want to start this off with a story here for Raj. So Raj, like I'm in Dallas, so I was not expecting to be Ubering around Dallas. My thought process was when I landed that we were gonna have like a rental car or something. It's like, nah, bruh, you gonna Uber this whole thing. I'm like, are you kidding me? So I'm sitting here taking 4 Ubers throughout this time, and we didn't get the media hotel, which was the Omni. We got the Hilton, which was Hilton's okay, but I'm hearing how the Omni paid for the media to go watch the Major League Baseball All-Star game for free. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Wow.
Did I miss that?
I automatically assumed that you would be at the Omni. That was my assumption.
But they had me at the Hilton. So here's the part here. Because I met up with Randy at Media Days. So Randy was like, hey man, you, me, Raj, we're all going to the spot. Like we're all for the go. So I get back to the hotel. I'm literally preparing myself, being Raj, about to turn up. Here we go. Here we go. And I get a text message from one of the guys who are like, Steven, I'm not going to be able to edit out this video. You're going to have to do it. Are you kidding me? I'm trying to go turn up right now. Y'all give me a video to edit. And so I'm in the hotel. I'm like, okay. Maybe this will be one of those quick videos where the Wi-Fi goes fast. It'll take me about 10 minutes and I can go chill with Raj. I'm in the hotel with the slowest Wi-Fi. This thing going a mile a minute. And I'm like, do I really have to sit here and text Raj? Just put a whole damper on this entire evening. So I sit there and grab my phone. I'm like, Raj, this sucks. I cannot go out. I said, but can you do breakfast Thursday? He's like, man, I got to work, but I can't do breakfast Thursday. I'm like, Steven, you done messed this all the way up.
Man, it's all. Listen, it's all good. It's all good. We'll definitely catch each other next time. I know you're busy. You had a really, really busy week. It's funny you mentioned the Wi-Fi though, because when I met up with Randy, he mentioned the same. That's actually what we started off talking about. He said the Omni is a nice hotel and everything, but their Wi-Fi is horrible. He said it was extremely slow. He wasn't able to edit out some of his videos because it was taking so long, so he had to postpone some of his work.
It was that, Raj, like it was that bad. I'm like, bruh, like we down here in Texas, everything's bigger here. Food, belt buckles, sports, everything. The Wi-Fi can't be bigger. Like the Wi-Fi can't be better down here.
They were not prepared. They were not prepared for the crowd of the people.
No, they were not. And then this is the final part of the story here before we get to the show. So I flew Delta in. Everybody talks about Delta, the complimentary food, the wine, all of that. There was so much turbulence on the plane going there, coming back. So going there, my flight from Atlanta to Dallas was delayed by an hour and a half. And then coming back, my flight from Atlanta to Birmingham was delayed by about 4 hours. I'm like, Delta, what in the world is wrong with y'all?
Well, luckily it's going to be back in Atlanta next year, so you won't have to worry about some of this.
Thank God.
Okay. Yeah.
Foot on the gas pedal in the car. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Let's get the quick comments in, and we're going to follow up right on where you guys are leaving off right there. Obviously, Kat, Roll Tide, we appreciate you. Yes, this is something we've been slacking on because of the busyness of this past month. We're about to ramp it up. We would love to hit 200 before the season starts. So please help us out there. Lady Alpha checked in with the Roll Tide. Always appreciate you.
Thank you, Lady Alpha.
And Big Mike, the run-in. Please subscribe to Big Mike's channel. He is on the way to 50, so he can start doing some live streams. We all love and appreciate him. So show him some love just by clicking that subscribe button. We would appreciate that greatly. It's all the SEC's fault for moved out. Yeah. So that's where I did want to start at too. Out of all the different locations, where does Dallas rank outside of the problems that you've already mentioned there? Where does that rank? And would Atlanta be your first choice overall, period, or would you have gone back to one of the other spots they've been in?
I'll be honest. So the food at the Omni Hotel was good. It was good. I give them that credit right there. I thought the ability to navigate through the rooms at the Omni Hotel in Dallas was good. But I still feel like my top choice would be Atlanta. Number 2, Hoover. Now, I understand in the future they're thinking about putting it in New Orleans. That's been a conversation from Greg Sankey, SEC commissioner. And once again, love Greg Sankey. I mean, the visionary, the foresight that Sankey has, I love that guy. In wanting to expand the media days and put it in different areas.
Right.
But at the same time, you're thinking from the mindset of fans and media, we want closer travel proximity. And I think having it Atlanta, Hoover, New Orleans, that's good. I like that. Even when it was in Nashville, Tennessee, Nashville was pretty strong also. but putting it all the way out there in Dallas, that was a little too much to me.
Yeah, Raj, any thoughts about it? With especially since you're in Dallas, or you kind of follow along with that too?
No, I like. I mean, it was cool to have it out here. Of course, obviously, I didn't attend any events or anything like that, but I was, cool to meet up with Randy and everything like that. And but I just figured overall keeping it in the southeastern area for obvious reasons would make more sense for people who have been doing this for a number of plus years every now. So I like it back in Atlanta next year. I think it'll be cool. Yeah,
Raj and I are going next year, even if we just got to stay outside with signs, right, Raj?
Yeah, but speaking of that, I'm glad you brought that up, Herb. Steven, if Herb and I were to come without credentials or whatever, what could we expect? Do they have like meet and greets? Like, walk us through media days, or is it just like, how does that work? If you don't have credentials, can you just at least see the coaches and some of the players?
Okay, so for those that don't have credentials, you can see the coaches walk in. Like, they have an area for people without credentials. There's the whole the Alabama Nacho character with the whole hammer thing.
Yep.
Like, he's there every year. There are fans there every year. They have like a little roped off area for them. Mm-hmm. So you can see the coaches walk in. You can see the players walk in. You can call to them, hey, can you sign this? Can you autograph this? And they'll come over there and they'll be around. So there is an area inside the event for fans that are not credentialed to be at.
So how many autographs did you sign and pictures as well?
Okay, so got a couple, kissed one or two babies, not nothing too major. Feinbaum ran me down from the whole other side, so I had to do his spot there. There was like 5 other radio spots I got a chance to be a part of, so that was cool. So a few babies kissed, a few things signed, a couple of things signed. So it was cool. It was nice. I mean, it was nice. Gotcha. I made my appearance, worthwhile there in the room while I was there.
What was your favorite? And it might be a general question. What was your favorite part about media days? Was it this particular person, a particular interview? Like, what was your favorite part about it?
My favorite part is just, and I mean, y'all think about if NIL was around when we were coming up playing sports, playing ball, how much drip we would get clothing wise. Like, watching Jalen Milroe, Malachi Moore, Tyler Booker come in there with cowboy hats, suits, blinged out chains. Like, there was a watch Tyler Booker had on that looked like it came from the late great Luther Vandross. That watch had like Bugatti diamonds popping out that thing. I'm like, where in the world did he get? Like, that was my favorite part, to just watching the icebox jewelry section come up and down the stairs throughout the Omni Hotel.
I love it. And now remind everybody again, who was in the Alabama contingent? Who went with them?
So it was quarterback Jalen Milroe, defensive back Malachi Moore, offensive lineman Tyler Booker.
Mm-hmm. And how do you think they handled themselves at media day?
I thought they all controlled the room well. First off, with Kalen DeBoer, and for Alabama fans out there, you got to put this into full context. So this is a man from South Dakota. It snows a lot in South Dakota. Yeah. This is a guy that's never coached beneath the Illinois line, if you will. This is somebody that's never coached in the Southeast South region. His most recent coaching stop was Washington. And you come down to the SEC where there are sharks in this water coming for blood, your food, and their food. When you look at Kirby Smart, Steve Sarkisian, Lane Kiffin, these are sharks. And if you're a piranha first time in the SEC, you better have some confidence and some backbone. You better have both of those things. Yeah. And you better be able to control and command a room. Kalen DeBoer walked into this room like he belonged in the SEC. Like, he was so smooth with it. Like, if he would have stumbled over some words, had some nerves, had some apprehension, it would have been okay. He had no nerves. He had no apprehension. Walked in there like he was Scarface, laying down exactly what he was going to do, why he was going to do it, the purpose behind it. Like, it was outstanding to watch him command that entire room. And then, having the players in there as well versed as Jalen Milroe was, talking about bringing the whole team together, the improvement of what she's made in that short to intermediate passing game. Tyler Booker talking about the offensive line, and I pulled Booker to the side. I'm like, Book, like when Caden Proctor came back, what was that buy-in process like? They said we put it on Caden. Like Caden knew when he came back, he wasn't going to
As
get
well
this
it should
easy.
be though.
He knew he wasn't going to get this easy. We put it on that dude. He had to earn that respect, that love from us back. And the fact that Caden has done that, he's worked his butt off. He's dropped a good bit of weight. Like he don't even look the same. And he's been working tirelessly this whole offseason to buy into that whole King and DeBoer culture. And for Malachi Moore, he talked up his entire secondary.
Mm-hmm.
I think the secondary is going to be much better than what a lot of people give it credit for.
Right.
I thought all four guys commanded that room. When you left, people were talking more about the Bama guys than anybody else.
I do too. To your point with Malachi Moore, I just feel like we have a cornucopia of talent at the DB position this fall. Even with some of the freshmen, we got some of the 5-star guys in. Of course, we're going to be looking at guys that have experience and that have played there the years past. But we're going to be loaded at the DB position, so I don't think there's anything to worry about there. So I'm looking forward to that.
I think the fact that you've got two guys with national championship experience at both safety spots, Malachi Moore from the Bama perspective, that 2020 national championship, and then Keon Saab from the Michigan perspective, this past champion who now comes to Alabama. You got two guys on that back end of that defense that knows what it takes to win. They know exactly what it takes to win. I look at Devontae Smith. I think he's going to be the perfect guy in that Husky nickel role there. Your two corners, you can look at both transfers, Damani Jackson from USC, Deshaun Jones from Wake Forest. If there's a slight hiccup from one of the transfers, you still have Jaleel Hurley, who's a holdover from that 2023 recruiting class as a DB. And then, as you mentioned, Raj, you got a ton of freshmen. I think the most prepared one of the group is Xavier Brown from California. Mm-hmm. I think he's the most prepared one right now.
Yeah. So do you think it's overblown what people say, or it's at least fair when they thought that the DBs were going to be the weak part of the team?
I mean, there's some fairness there because you had two lockdown guys in Kool-Aid and Terrion, who, in my opinion, both should have been first-round picks. Kool-Aid got bumped to the second round, but they should have both been first-round picks. You had two knockdowns.
There was a run on offense, so there was like something unprecedented.
Right.
I get that.
So obviously, yes, there is some cause for concern, but I feel like where it gets a little bit overkill is when people say, well, Bama's got nobody back there on that defense. Well, yes, they do. I mean, Malachi Moore is back there. Keon Saab is back there. Devontae Smith is back there. You got some guys back there. So that's where I think it's overblown. So, yes, there's some truth to there could be a growing pain or two, but I feel like because of how Kane Womack and Coach Maurice Linguist and Coach Colin Hitzler and the way they're going to use these guys in the secondary, I don't think the growing pains are going to be as massive.
Yeah. Is it fair to say, I mean, Malachi Moore, if he gets another healthy season, you're really going to see a star back there? Is that me, Bama bias talking, or is that
no? I see All-American Jim Thorpe here. If he doesn't get the Jim Thorpe, he will get the Chuck Bednarik Award for Defensive Player of the Year. Like Malachi is going to have that kind of season because, and I've said this a lot, Alabama natives, when they played Alabama, they take that stuff so personal. Malachi Moore is one of few guys on this team that has a national championship ring and wants another one. And he's gone 3 years since that national championship.
Right.
That dude is so hungry for a second ring to hit his hand. It's not even funny. It's not even funny. And so I look at it. I think he's going to be an All-American. He's going to be first team All-SEC. Those things we can mark down. But as far as other individual accolades, he could get the Thorpe. If he doesn't get the Thorpe, he can get the Nagurski. If he doesn't get the Nagurski, the Chuck Bednarik Award. He's going to get one of those three.
And Rod, you had a comment about Malachi as well, or are you got a question?
No, I was going to say the same thing. Is if he can maintain a healthy season, then yeah, he should get those awards and help lead us to a good SEC championship, playoff, et cetera, and so forth and so on. So I think the health is his major concern. The one question I did have is one name that tends to slip my mind every once in a while is Damani Jackson. Have you heard anything about him lately? Where does he stand? Can we see him starting this year, or anything on any comments you have on him?
He will have one of the two corner spots. I mean, the fact that he came in the spring was huge. The fact that he came in the spring, he wanted this hard work. He wanted this culture. He wanted this toughness. He wanted that, and he mentioned that on a podcast that he was on. Of a guy 6'1", 190. He's got the range. He's got the athleticism. He's tough. He can cover. He came out of the modern day powerhouse program, and they teach you well over there. Now at USC, that was not his fault. I kind of put that on Alex Drench, the defensive coordinator.
A lot of people did.
Probably not the best teacher as far as the defensive schematics are concerned. So now that he's here at Alabama, he will be a whole lot better. So I think Damani will be one of the two corners. My thing is the other corner. It could be Deshaun Jones. If not Deshaun Jones, it could be Jaleel Hurley. If it's not Jaleel Hurley, Zabian Brown, the true freshman. That guy's really good.
Yeah.
One comment I wanted to go back to and kind of bringing it back into the media days. We talked about the team coach. Getty B was the talk at SC Media Days. What were you kind of hearing? Like, we know our perspective. What were you kind of hearing the other guys say about him at Media Days? Or, did they talk to you at all? Was it all in whispers?
I mean, just how prepared and how smooth and just how confident he was out there. Like, knowing who he is, what he is, and what he's trying to do. Like, the confidence he had. Like, you could just tell Kalen DeBoer wanted to follow behind Nick Saban. He wanted this. Like, this was on his list of things to do. Like, he wanted this. And when you speak in a capacity of, I want this, it's going to show. And it's going to exude out there. And so that's what, DeBoer has done and what he was like the whole time at Media Days. And then also just how engaged he was in every conversation. With Nick Saban, you could kind of sense when his foot was starting to tap, when he was starting to say, I got somewhere else to be. I'm getting a little bit antsy. I'm getting tired of this. You could kind of feel when Saban was getting a little bit up, let's move on to something else. With Kalen DeBoer right there, engaged with you the entire time.
Yeah. He seems like he has a good, his foot on the pulse of what's kind of going on. And it feels like to me that's why he's done so well in recruiting, kind of navigating this new era with NIL. I think he kind of can get to the heart of what the kids like, and he really can relate to them on that level.
Oh yeah. No doubt about that. He's creative. His creativity has got his hands on the pulse of these 16 to 17-year-old athletes to where they can't say no to him. They really cannot right now, especially when you look at of the 22 verbal commits Alabama's got right now, 13 are from the South to Southeast region. The other 9 are from other areas, including 6 from California. Then you look at this weekend, it's the Champions Cookout, which is basically a junior day cookout with other guys that can come in, the signees. So at this cookout, we could see more guys down the line that may want to go ahead and give that verbal commitment to Alabama. So it's going to be awesome to see, who could commit during this the Champions Cookout.
Yeah. we'll get these two back to back. Amazing the disrespect Alabama's getting in preseason talk. Can't wait to see the sad face when we do what we do. And then Mike is a stats guy versus kind of like an emotion guy, because I understand what the stats say. Mike, you're absolutely correct to that. But if you go on any boards and talk to any people, the disrespect is definitely there. There's a lot. I have a bet with a Georgia guy already who thinks we're not going to win more than 8 games. So
there's so many people that are hoping and expecting and praying for us to fail this year, and I think they're going to be sadly mistaken.
Well, there were a lot of guys at media days, and I was down there that had Bama 8-4, Bama 9-3. I saw one guy in the media that had Bama 7-5.
Yeah, I've seen a 6-6
what
out there.
In the world? So it's crazy. Doing the balloting after all of this, you had Georgia, Texas for the SEC championship game. Georgia winning the SEC title. You got. I mean, I was listening to ESPN today. You had Harry Douglas on there. He's got Georgia, Texas, Ole Miss, and Missouri ahead of Bama. He's got Bama 5th in the conference. I'm like, man, the gall is just it's unreal.
Yeah, I think a lot of people just looked at Saban leaving, and that was it.
Yes.
Go ahead, Raj.
Herb, I 100% agree. That's exactly what I was going to say. I think a lot of people are just taking into consideration that Saban's not there anymore, so everything's just going to fall through the cracks. But people don't realize what type of roster Coach DeBoer inherited. I mean, if you look at the players that we did lose a couple of starters from last year's roster, but for the most part, it's still about 85-90% still intact from what we had last year. So, and people just don't understand that, and they don't want to hear it. But the team's in good hands, vice versa.
And agreed, Rex. I like the hate, so I've always enjoyed it, and I always feel like
I love it too.
Better without when there's zero expectations on them. We've always played well when people don't expect much from us.
I say this: you look at, and the reason why I bring this up is you look at the 2009 championship, the 2011 championship, the 2015 and the 2017 championships. All 4 of those, Bama preseason was highly undervalued.
Yeah.
2009, Bama was undervalued. The conversation was Florida. 2011, Bama was undervalued. The conversation was LSU, and that was when the horrific tornado ripped through Tuscaloosa. But you look at 2015, everybody had all these question marks on Alabama. Well, who's the quarterback going to be? Who's going to step up at wide receiver? What's the defense? There were so many questions, but we all saw what happened. Derrick Henry took over. Jacob Coker grew with each game. Calvin Ridley became the phenomenal freshman, and the defense willed in the form. And then 2017, the exact same thing. So when Bama is severely undervalued, that's when you see Alabama at its best football.
Yep.
I love it.
Kat does clarify. She talks about the players to watch. Not many Bama players on this. Is there anybody that kind of jumps out at you as maybe being undervalued, or maybe not, that should be on the watch list that's not? Or do you feel like it's kind of accurate going into the season so far?
I saw the all preseason media, all SEC team. The fact that they had Jaden Roberts, Justice Haynes, and Jalen Milroe, and Tim Keenan all third team. I'm like, what in the world is this? I understand people pump up Carson Beck. I get that. Carson Beck got beat by Jalen Milroe in the SEC championship game last year. So,
which, by the way, is the most forgotten SEC championship in the history of
that's what I'm saying. So, if you're going to have a SEC team list, shouldn't it be Quinn Ewers first team and then Jalen second team? If you're going to keep that legitimate, it should be that way. Not the fact that Jalen Milroe's third team, and he actually beat the quarterback that's first team in the previous SEC title game.
By the way, Randy jumping in, he'll definitely have a comment on
Randy
that.
jumped in right on time.
we heard you. Did your ears ring? Did you guys not both say though that meeting Randy was the highlight of SEC Media Days?
Meeting Randy was awesome, though.
Yeah, we did say that.
Meeting Randy was awesome, though. Meeting Randy was awesome.
Good guy, definitely a good guy. So we had a good time.
So back with Media Day, since we're talking about that, we've talked a lot about Alabama. What are some other takeaways from some other teams or players or coaches that you had there? What else kind of caught your eye?
I thought just the respect factor that Kirby Smart, Lane Kiffin, and Steve Sarkisian had for Nick Saban. I thought that was really cool. Seeing Lane Kiffin talk about Coach Saban and what he meant to him. And you got to understand, like, last week was a very difficult week for Lane because he had lost his dad. He had lost, Monty Kiffin passed away. And so he had to go to Tampa, Florida, to that memorial and honoring his dad. So it was, Lane had to push through to even make it through the media days. But to hear Lane talk about Nick Saban and that type of respect, I enjoyed that. To hear Sarkisian talk about Saban with the marquee respect that Saban did for him was huge. And then, of course, Kirby Smart, who sat under Coach Saban for 9 years, giving his thoughts. So all of the coaches sort of giving back to the Godfather, so to speak, was really, really cool.
Mm-hmm. Who was your favorite player to talk to? Non-Alabama version.
Okay. So my favorite player to talk to, non-Alabama was Quinn Ewers. Quinn is hilarious, man. Quinn, that is a funny dude. That is a funny dude, and like people like to say it's the mullet, but it's more than just the mullet. Like, Quinn is a funny dude, man. I enjoy being around Quinn. I really enjoy being around Quinn. But also, another funny thing, Lane Kiffin cooking Paul Feinbaum on national TV. Oh, that was so great. Oh, that was so. I mean, Lane wasn't having it with Paul.
Big Mike and Cat are with you on that one.
Like Lane was not. Lane was savage on that one. I was like,
I feel like Paul is used to it by now, though. I mean, he and Nick Saban kind of went back and forth the SEC Media Days, and I thought that was pretty funny as well. But I think Feinbaum's used to it by now. So,
I mean, Feinbaum's really used to it. Feinbaum is always asking me, when will ESPN put the wrong middle initial on Stephen A's check? And it ends up coming to you. I'm like, Paul. I'm like, Paul. Whenever that happens, you'll just find me on a boat somewhere.
Find us on a boat. I got Steve's number.
Exactly. Hey, we'll all just be on a boat somewhere with a $30 million check.
Yeah. We'll do it. Yeah, we'll start podcasting from somewhere in the sea. So for now,
hey, Steven gonna be on the boat. He gonna look around. All of a sudden, I'm just be sitting right there, like, what? What's up?
Hey, her gonna be like, I heard you came up, buddy.
We're gonna be toasting with champagne. We made it. We made it.
Hey, and Roger's gonna be right behind with popcorn. Hey, what I missed?
Yeah.
Hey, just hold it one twin. Yeah, I got here as quick as I could. Yeah. They say? Hey, if I win, if they send me that check, I won't tell anybody, but there will be signs. There'll be like a bigger green screen behind me.
Oh yeah.
Wait a minute.
It's like I won't say anything, but you'll definitely see an exponential smile. Like, you'll definitely see an exponential smile. You'll definitely see some small nuances pop here and there.
Yeah. Got a couple of new guests in there. Brian, I think Brian decided
Brian Roberts.
to get on two different ones. So he signed it up both, man.
Appreciate you for jumping on, man.
Brian. How you doing?
We hope you subscribe. We hope you subscribe from both accounts, Brian.
Yes. There's our Oklahoma guy and our Texas guy. Why T-Town in 2 weeks, though? Why is a Texas fan coming to T-Town in 2 weeks. But
What's
you have to
going
hit
on
me
in
up.
Tuscaloosa 2 weeks from now?
I don't know.
Sabotage. We don't even play y'all this year. Sabotage.
Man,
But hit me up when you get into town for sure.
now, I do know.
One quick question.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Stephen. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just saying, I know fall camp is next week, but in the next 2 weeks, I don't know.
Oh, he says his daughter will be a freshman.
You let your daughter come here? Did it hurt you? That's the real question as a Texas fan.
Yeah.
Or were you okay with it? Where was the other one? Yep, Fine Mom does put himself in the position. Yeah, he does. For sure. Oh, no, I know what it was. Randy, what was the question? What did you ask him that shocked him? That's what I want to know. So that does bring us. Steven, what do you think about the Quinn Ewers versus holding off Arch Manning, that whole little conundrum?
Okay, so here's the thing. Arch is talented. Arch is. He's very when you come from football royalty, when your uncles are Peyton and Eli Manning, your grandfather's Archie Manning, you are talented. Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's no question about that. But that team is Quinn Ewers' team. Sarkisian, if you talk to anybody in Austin, Texas, in the Texas area, they will tell you this is Quinn Ewers' team. Steve Sarkisian will say it. The players will say it. Fans will say this is Quinn Ewers' team. And Quinn Ewers knows that that's his team. So it's not like Quinn is going to lose his job in any shape or form.
Right.
I think Quinn is going to hold this job from here on out and then go to the NFL if an Arch takes over, next season. Well, the 2025 season. So this is Quinn's job.
Yeah.
Okay.
Quick question regarding, I guess, Quinn Ewers, and since we're talking about Texas, around the time SEC Media Days came out, I think maybe a couple days prior, it was announced that the horns down signal will be allowed in the SEC. Was that a question? Was that even like a top of a question at SEC Media Days? Did anybody ask Quinn Ewers that, or did anybody speak upon that at all?
I don't think anybody spoke upon that at all.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, that's going to get a lot of conversation because of the horns down, because Oklahoma's going to want to do it, or everybody's going to want to do it. That plays.
Everybody's going to want to do it. Yeah.
But I don't think that was necessarily the biggest question. The biggest draw was Sarkisian kept talking about this is the best Texas team he's had since he's been there. This is the deepest team he's had. So people want to dive into, okay, Sark, what makes you say that? What is it about this team offensively and defensively that has you this confident that this is the team that's going to put Texas back in terms of national championship prominence in everybody's mind?
Yeah.
That's an interesting comment because I think some of the comments on Twitter would say differently, but that is definitely a small subsection of it. So,
yeah.
And then he said that was afterwards horn down to be penalized. That was a question he asked the Ewers that had him shocked. So it will not. So. I think he needs to make sure there's a horn down emoji by the start of the season. Yeah. I mean, if what he says is correct and they don't seem to care about it, then it wouldn't matter.
Right.
So I don't know if y'all saw that. The rec said it's good for Quinn not having to deal with the. Yeah. I mean, he's been out there, like Kat said, on there, one of their own earned his spot. So for sure, he needs to stay on there. So the ACC coaches say they need a pine farm for. I mean, what they need to do first, in my opinion, are Florida State and Clemson
figure out what they're doing with their conference.
But I can definitely see they need somebody to pump them up for sure, Mike. So I could see that as a thing. What do you guys think? They need something for sure.
What the ACC needs is teams to really be good, because Clemson's been on the slide. Florida State, they're up and down. North Carolina, up and down. I remember when Virginia Tech was the team.
Yes.
Yeah. I grew up looking at
special teams. Yes.
I grew up looking at Michael Vick, Marcus Vick, Glennon, Tyrod Taylor, all of those quarterbacks. I remember when Virginia Tech, you knew what type of defense Bud Foster was going to put on that field. Like Virginia Tech meant something. Now Virginia Tech, I don't know what they are anymore. So the ACC needs to have teams good again to create that conversation.
Yeah.
So now Randy's being coy because I said, "What was your question, Randy?" So now you're just being.
I'm trying to figure out. Yeah, I'm trying to read the comments and trying to figure out what's going on. Hornstein was asked by someone else in the room.
So Randy hasn't said what his question is yet. Oh, and this was his. Yeah, he said it's tough having a daughter. I can understand that, man. If I was a Texas fan and my daughter went anywhere but Texas, especially went to Alabama, I don't think I'd like it either.
Well, I mean, I can, say, half my dad's family went to Auburn, so I went to Alabama. So half of my
you
dad's
sound so
family,
excited when you said that.
Didn't he though?
I'm just saying, like half, like a good portion of my dad's family was like, "Hey, we're here at Auburn. Come over here." I'm like, nah. I'm like, nah. Nah, I'm not doing that. I'm taking Highway 82 to Tuscaloosa as quickly as possible.
And I did get the sticker. I know he did reluctantly give it to me, Randy. So I don't know if that's what we're talking about, but he did. He doesn't. But I mean, he's a younger brother, so he's definitely gonna be resistant. So I guess the question is, Stephen M., what did you bring me?
For media days?
Yeah.
Oh man,
he looking
I
around.
I got you this thing from Delta. From Delta, Delta gave me this thing.
He started looking around his house like he had a trophy in there for you.
Well, Randy, thank you for thinking of me, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Randy, I gave it to him, Randy. He was somewhat reluctant to touch it. He looked at it and kind of laughed. I was like, "Listen, this is from Randy. I know."
Well, no, look. Alabama plays Georgia. If Georgia beats Alabama this year, I'll wear the sticker on the next show. So it will be prominent on the show after that game. So that's fair enough. And he said the Dogs open up their camp next Thursday. So where are we catching up? This is one. It's funny that you say that because that's a conversation I had with somebody else. Off air about talking about their season, and I agree with you. I think it's going to happen again, and I think I always wonder what it does for his NFL potential because at times it's really great, but yes, you are hurt every single year. So
he is, and he's been, and so that's why Sarkisian has put such an emphasis on Texas's offensive line.
Right.
Sarkisian's also put an emphasis of, okay, Quinn. You can't be holding on to the ball too long because that's one of the things that Quinn gets himself in trouble. He wants the big play so badly that he will risk holding the ball too long and getting his body cleaned out. And you can't have that. So that's the biggest thing for Quinn is keeping himself upright because there is that contingent of people that want Arch Manning on the field. We can't overlook it. There is a contingent of people that are like, we want to see Arch Manning. I get that.
Yeah.
But for Quinn Ewers, in terms of you wanting to be a high round draft pick, when you look at next year's draft, you got to keep yourself healthy.
Yeah.
Agreed.
He's probably going to have to do that jiu-jitsu and judo that Tua's been doing.
Just to keep himself upright.
It worked last year. Tua had a phenomenal season last year. So, hey.
He did. He did. Yeah. And Chris Greer, do not screw this up. Pay this man. Yeah. We're seeing Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, baby. Listen, I'm a Dolphins fan. I'm going to let you know, is he going to get Trevor Lawrence money? No. I don't think that's warranted right now. I'm thinking
but he's got to get at least close to the number. At least close.
50-55?
I think that Trevor Lawrence deal kind of came out of nowhere and it really kind of hurt the Dolphins' negotiations because Trevor hasn't, really accomplished anything either.
Yeah, he hasn't.
Was that one playoff win? I guess that's really it. But there hasn't been the on-field success that you would think would warrant that number.
Right. And so before we get back to Bama, probably the only quarterback I feel like that earned that contract was Jared Goff. Jared Goff earned his. The Lions did right. You pay Jared Goff. Jared Goff earned his.
Yeah. And then, of course, Pat Mahomes could command anything.
Yeah. But when you look at the Lions, you could pretty much – it's debatable, but you could pretty much say that they're actually a Super Bowl contender for next season, especially with Jared Goff there. With Tua, I think him. I mean, with us losing obviously that first round playoff game, which was shown on Peacock to the Chiefs, that didn't help out. Maybe if we won one or two playoffs games, they wouldn't even be having discussions right now. The contract would have been dealt with, but there's still some question marks out there. And I think Miami wants to see to it with another good, healthy, productive season before they give him that money. But, obviously something's going to have to happen before this season starts.
Why are they playing games on Peacock? Can somebody explain that to me?
I don't know.
No. No one can explain.
It was
that.
a horrible
They're
game.
trying hard, but no.
It was snowy, icy out there. It was just a horrible game. I watched the whole thing. It was just miserable. I don't know.
All right, let me see what else we got. Let's grab a couple more. The ACC having the most exciting collection of teams. I mean, they have a lot what I think are going to be mediocre. So I don't know if that will cause it. It just seems like Florida State and Clemson will be above everyone else, and just a lot of non-separation.
Yeah, but the question with Florida State is DJ Ewing. How good is he going to be at quarterback? Because we saw what he did at Clemson, which wasn't much. He did all right with Oregon State, but him transferring to Florida State, like, is he going to show like a lot of progress from over the past 2 years? And I don't see that happening.
I just remember when DJ came out, because he and Bryce Young came out at the same time, and people were really pumping DJ over Bryce. And I like DJ, really good kid. I hope it pans out for him because it's been tough on him.
Yep.
Yeah,
I agree.
I think the one thing that he's had going for him is his size.
I missed it, Randy, then, which I don't know which one the question was it. What's up to Bo? Well, we'll see you in the morning for the Wednesday wrap-up. He was at that 95 Sugar Bowl, Texas for Virginia Tech. So, nice.
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. Big game.
Amazing inside scoop. Yep. Question for the panel. Who does Randy hate more, Auburn or Alabama? I'm going to say Florida. They're probably the only team that I have seen on your show that there is an active dislike for. So
Florida, then Auburn, then Alabama.
I don't know. Only because we're Alabama fans, we have heard when you hate Alabama, but it's also some particular fans. So I might go Florida, Alabama, Auburn. But that's from what I know. So two shows that doesn't matter. Yeah. Doesn't have a lot of faith in whatever from Texas people at their D-line. It's been hanging a lot on what Bill Norton can do from this year. It's interesting because I haven't heard that, but obviously I haven't been in a lot of those circles yet. So I of course, would not know. But you see from most pundits and stuff, they're slotting Texas into the SEC championship game and, a playoff berth. So it seems like it maybe, I don't know. Is that something you've heard as well, Stephen M.?
I mean, they've been sliding Texas into the SEC championship game. They've got Texas in the college football playoff. While I was down there, so many of the pundits had Texas 10-2. One guy had Texas 11-1. So there's a lot of hype on Texas.
Yeah. Schedule's not that hard either, though, I don't think, for this year. So the Dolphins are drafting. No, they're not drafting yours. They won't be drafting.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Man, Lord have mercy.
No, that would not be
rated and ride the hype off a win against Alabama. Yep. Leveraging their streak. Yeah, it was just a terrible. You're 100% correct, but that was with the Peacock question, so that was it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Rod, you don't have any faith in Miami?
No, I have faith. I have faith in Miami. I think my Dolphins are going to win the AFC East. And like I said last year, prior to last year's playoff game, I said they need to win the division so that they could host a playoff game. They're not good at playing in December, January on the road. We don't need to be doing that. So we need to host a game in Miami week one of the playoffs, and then we can advance to week two.
Yeah. It's funny. I could read this question, though, no faith in Miami. I could read that for the Hurricanes or for the Dolphins. I know we were talking about the Dolphins, but I know they're recruiting well. I don't have any faith in the Hurricanes either, just in case anyone out there.
Oh, okay. Okay, my bad.
No. I think you're right. I think I'm wrong, but I'm just saying, just in case. And so, Florida rules all the dislike, and Auburn is next. So, I just haven't heard much Auburn talk on the show, but see, so he was actually talking about the Hurricanes, Rob. So, he was right about that too. Then,
all right. Herb for the win.
Herb.
I know.
All right, so we are kind of getting towards the end there. So, Stephen, and we've kind of covered a lot of stuff media day wise, so we'll bring it back to that. What was one of your final takeaways, an Alabama takeaway and a non-Alabama takeaway from SEC media days?
An Alabama takeaway would be how much Kalen DeBoer and the players with him talked about freshman Ryan Williams. He is going to be a factor. The maturity that young man has, the way he's taking care of his body, the practice habits, the sleep habits, the film study habits. Ryan Williams is just one of those freshmen that falls right in line with some of the great ones that have come through this program. He is going to play. He is going to get quite the amount of burn here in his first year. Everybody was talking about Ryan as I'm leaving the area. So that's an Alabama one. A non-Alabama one is people were talking Missouri up. I'm like, good God. People kept saying, man, Missouri, man. Eli Drinkwitz is like another Nick Saban. You got Luther Burden. You got this quarterback. Missouri, man. Mizzou. They gonna do some stuff. I'm like, y'all, no offense, kind of pump it on Missouri a little bit. Kind of pump it there on Missouri a little bit. But they were pumping up Missouri all day down there.
What do you think about the hype around Missouri? I don't know. I guess I should rephrase that. I guess there is not as much hype as maybe. Like, are they overrated, underrated coming into the season, or is it about right?
Okay. So Missouri's coming off their best season under Eli Drinkwitz and their best season in a long time since Gary Pinkel. Remember when Missouri first got into the conference, under Gary Pinkel, 2013 and 2014, Missouri represented the SEC East in the title game. Of course, in both seasons they got killed, but Missouri represented the SEC East. Since then, they've fallen off.
There you go. Yep.
But they've fallen off. However, last season they went 11-2. They beat Ohio State in the bowl game. They return a whole lot of talent. So that's the reason why people are really pushing Mizzou up there. The reason why I'm not ready to take that jump yet is I want to look at how serious is Mizzou for real. Like Eli Drinkwitz had to build that 11-2 season. Can he sustain and do that again?
Yeah.
I want to see how serious Drinkwitz is.
Yeah. Sometimes fighting to the top is a lot tougher than being up there. I don't think people realize when the bullseye is on you how it does. And you saw Randy, he's also questioned about the differences too. And our team, I think that's a fair question as well. Ryan Williams, yep. Until you see him on the field, I think that's a fair question as well for our team.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be something seeing Ryan on the field, but for me, watching what that kid did in high school and just seeing how he reclassified to come out for college at 17 years old and the way he's handled everything so far, like I'm so pumped for next Wednesday to get out there at fall camp and watch this young man and watch what he does.
And this is a fair question before we get into the questions of death. My personal ranking is like I'm looking at Georgia, LSU, Tennessee, Oklahoma, then Mizzou. So it's like, I don't know if that's fair or not, but that would be my personal ranking of where I would put that game for this year. Like one of those, if you don't go into it focused, you might, that could turn ugly quickly. But I feel like if Alabama's focused, they're a better team, and that's like the 5th best game that I think we play. Go ahead, Rob.
Yeah, and that ranking could change, after the first few games of the season once we kind of see what type of product we have on the field as far as Alabama's concerned. But I would say somewhere like you said, somewhere in the mid-range. I think Missouri is going to have a good team. I don't think they're going to be able to duplicate exactly what they did last year, but I think they'll still field a good team.
My thing is this could be looked at as a trap game between Bama and Missouri, seeing where that game is in between. I think that game is in between the Tennessee game and the LSU game. That Missouri game is right there between both of those two road games. So it could be looked at as a trap if Alabama doesn't have keen focus.
Right.
But as you mentioned, Herb, they go out there with keen focus. It shouldn't be that big of an issue.
Yep.
That game is also the homecoming game.
Really?
Oh, wow, I didn't realize that.
That's homecoming, Missouri. That is
And
homecoming.
of course, Mike doesn't like my rankings. He's probably Missouri over Oklahoma. So, and yet, how young? They're talking about Williams, how young he is, and no doubt, yep, he's a player. Definitely hear your thoughts later on that, Randy. Randy will be on tomorrow night, 6 o'clock our time. I think 7 o'clock Eastern. Or I guess technically 5:55 is when he jumps on there. It's always a good show, especially if you like some Georgia Bulldogs store. If you want to hear about the enemy, there he goes. All right, Roger, you starting or I starting?
I'll start. I got a really good one.
Okay.
Stephen M, are you ready, Stephen M?
Let's go.
All right. Earlier we mentioned we were just joking around if you had come across a large sum of money and some of the places you would like to travel to, etc. Let's just say this does happen, and you get to take a trip to the Maldives, Aruba, wherever you want to go to. If you had to take 3 other people, who are you going to take from the Bama Standard and the Herb and Raj podcast? You and 3 other people on this vacation for a few days or however long you want to take. Who are you taking?
All right, 3 people on this vacation. Oh, that's
from
easy.
The Bama Standard and the Herb and Raj podcast.
That's easy. Marvin, Herb, Raj.
Man, the lack
what about
of
Justin Riley, Steve Brown, none of those guys?
Hey, look, Steve is gonna be somewhere doing a comedy shoot. Justin gonna be doing his own thing. Marvin like to travel anyway. So Marvin, Herb, Raj.
How many arm wrestling matches are you guys gonna have during the vacation?
Man, I don't know. I got the over under at like 10.
Oh wow.
All right. Since you've been at SC Media Days, you've been talking to folks. It's time for a good work, play, live, ditch. So as always, work who you want to work with 40 hours a week. Live who you want to live next door to. Play who you going out with on Friday night, and then ditch who, when they call you, are you gonna let it go to voicemail?
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna give you these. You ready for your names?
Okay.
All right. Kirby Smart, Lane Kiffin, Brian Kelly, Eli Drinkwitz.
Okay. This is something. Oh man.
Brian Kelly.
All right. So I would work with Kirby Smart because I know Kirby's attention to detail. I would work with Kirby Smart. I'm definitely playing with Lane Kiffin. He's a good drink partner right there.
I feel like those 2 are the easy choices for sure.
Okay. I would.
Good evening, Lady Alpha. Hope you get some rest.
Thank you, Lady Alpha. We appreciate you.
I would live with Eli Drinkwitz. I'm ditching Kelly.
Okay.
Yep. Randy, your time is coming. I just hope you're watching that night. Your time is coming for sure. All right, Raj, back to you.
Yeah, one more. So at SEC Media Days, let's just say you weren't reporting for Alabama this year or maybe even years prior. What other SEC school would you want to report for as opposed to Alabama? If you had another option.
If I wasn't doing Alabama,
I
would love to report. You know, this is going to sound extremely weird, but I like this guy. I would report for Ole Miss. I would be reporting.
Is that just to hang out with?
Is that for
with Lane because you just mentioned it?
No.
I feel like Lane will give you entertaining answers.
Lane would give me entertaining answers, but the personal growth that Lane has made, he's become a lot more thoughtful. He's become a lot more detailed. So I think so much of Saban has rubbed off on Lane. So I feel like covering Ole Miss would be very, very interesting.
I agree with that 1,000%.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, this should be a little bit easier one or an interesting one. We'll see. Give us your top 5 favorite players from the Nick Saban era.
Okay, this is a good one. Top 5 favorite players in the Nick Saban era. Okay, let's go. Gotta go Julio number 1. Julio just different.
He was the one that
Julio-
started it all.
Yeah,
Yep.
Julio. Give me Julio. Number 2 was Minka Fitzpatrick. He just had a mindset that was just different. So Julio, Minka. Number 3, I'll go Tua Tagovailoa number 3. He changed how we thought about Tide football the way it's supposed to be played with his passing ability. So Julio, Minka, Tua. Number 4, crazy Reuben Foster. Gotta throw Reuben in there.
Yeah.
Gotta throw Reuben there. That's number 4. Number 5, and I'm going to say this because of the fact that he restored everything from a special team standpoint, Will Riker.
Interesting.
Okay. That's it. I did not see that one coming.
Yep.
Will Riker. He restored everything from a
Mika
kicking
Terrion.
standpoint.
Yep. But she's wimping out on the last 2, she says. So Saban listed Kirby, Sark, Kiffin as best assistant coaches over the years. Roger, you good? Is that it for you?
I'm good.
Okay. All right. So next year, SC Media Days, it stretches to a whole week, and you have to find somebody to watch your kids for a whole week. Who do you grab, Herb or Raj?
Herb.
Man, watching my kids.
I ain't watching your kids and my kids.
Yeah, I gotta go Herb then. Man, no, I can see Raj. Look. I can see Raj right now. Hey, Steve's kids, y'all go outside now.
Exactly.
Y'all go outside. Please don't fall in the road. I can literally see Herb. Y'all get yourselves in this house. Sit down. I'm gonna put on this TV. Flip this channel. Yeah.
I'm gonna tell Steven, I say, look, one of your kids started chewing on something. I think they swallowed it, but they look okay to me. I don't know.
I can see Raj right now. Steven, one of your kids, they skinned their whole knee up outside. I didn't see them. I didn't see him, Steven. I was on the barbecue grill. We tried to put some ice on it. The ice didn't work.
Yeah.
Just go to the doctor, bro.
Yeah.
I'd be like, rub some dirt on it. We'd be all right.
Yeah.
All right. Steven, tell everybody what you got coming up. What's next for you? Where you headed? Where you gonna be?
Oh man, so I got fall camp starts next week, next Wednesday. So that day we'll be in Tuscaloosa, getting all the ins and outs where this team is concerned. They're gonna be having morning practice with Kagan DeBoer. So that's gonna be something new, something fun to get into and be exposed to. So I'm excited for that. The people can find me touchdownalabama.com. That's touchdownalabama.com, where we are rolling out the heavy artillery of content, getting everybody prepared here for fall camp. I mean, football is here. It is upon us. It's here. We're about to see this edition of Alabama football led by Kagan DeBoer.
Awesome.
Man, we always appreciate you stopping by, showing us some love.
Yes.
Made for another great show. Kat gave you the seal of approval. Great show.
Hey, I appreciate Kat give me the seal of approval, but I also appreciate on the Bama stand that Don Parker said Stephen Smith for vice president. I'm like, I'm not running for no Democratic Party. Man, no.
All right, man. For the Herbert Raj podcast, we appreciate everybody tuning in. Our guest, Stephen M. We always appreciate you, man. You're always welcome here. Everyone, have a wonderful night. And as always, roll tide, baby.
Roll tide.